Joo, kiitos.
All right, we are back for the second game of Saturday. starting in 3 minutes. We're here again, Kuulemis and Kata announcing our Vanilla Nice.
That's right.
Yes, thank you for correcting me. And we are announcing you the second game between Lomme Bad Bunnies and Göteborg Allstars. So let's start with the team charters. And for Lomme, we have 1-0 Quai-Julie, 1-2-3 Mapoule, 1-3-1-2 Girafon, 1-6 Brutus, 1-6-1 Anna Carabine, 1-9-6-7 Petit Bourrin, 2-0-4-6 Sistite, 2-2-1 L'Orage, 2-5 Marshmallow, 2-9 Light Fury, 2-9-3-6 The Bad Liboski, 3 Bezep, 4-2 Tata, 4-3-4 Kraken, 5-2-5 Gouda, 7 Cuirassier, 8-5 Non Je Rigole, 9-3-6 Morbach, and 9-9 Pim de Terre.
And skating in blue is Göteborg Roller Derby All-Stars. 1-0-1 World's Okayest Skater. 1-1 Fröken Frecken. 1-6-1-8 Fred Finta. 2 Sugar High. 2-1 Katriarken. 2-4 Stopless. 2-4-7 Belin. 2-6 Bumblebee. 3 Princeton. 3-0 Sankt Sarah. 3-1 Malice Babs. 4-0-4 Payne Gretzky. 4-1-4 Ertan, 4-8 Morran, 5 Femman, 5-6 Snagge, 6 Chips, 8-3 Kafka, 9-4-0 Sister Lister, and 9-9 Ellen. And on the bench, Mithra and Bielen.
All right. This will be an interesting game. These teams have not been playing each other since 2024 in Euro Champs, where previously known as Dock City. A fun fact, Gothenburg Roller Derby or Göteborg Allstars is a combined team from Dock City Rollers and Gothenburg Roller Derby. And the team was Dock City, who was playing against Lomme in the 24 Euro Champs, where Dock City took the win against Lomme. And the Wuftadal prediction for this game is 152 points for Lomme and 142 for Gothenburg. So
very close. Very close game. These two teams are ranked Lomme the 12th and Göteborg the 13th. So they are right behind each other.
All right, so for Lomme, we have a 1967 Petit Bourrin as the jammer.
And for Gothenburg, number 11 Fröken Frecken. And the game starts.
First jam is on. We see Petit Bourrin taking the lead with a nice hop on one skate on the outside.
Yeah, Fröken Frecken also right behind, which causes Lomme to call off the jam.
Yes, a quick start for this game. From Lomme, we have a number 8-5, Non Je Rigole, on the jammer line.
And I wish I could see the number of...
We will get to know the jammers by the end of this game.
It could be 48 Morran. But it's not. It's 1618 Fred Finta.
Yes, Lomme working in the front of the pack. Petit Bourrin having some help from the blocker buddies and taking the lead for Lomme.
Fred Finta getting help from their own blockers. But now Lomme's jammer approaching the pack, hitting the back wall of Gothenburg. Fred Finta still stuck in the front of the pack.
Yeah, here we can witness a very dynamic and strong French defense in the front of the pack. Fred Finta is not having a nice time probably there against this triangle.
Also, the first penalty of the game went to the blocker of Gothenburg, who's already standing in the box. Fred Finta doing some defense for a change.
There's a very tight mush of people, should I say, there in the second curve of the track. Awesome skating skills here, proved by the Lomme jammer.
That was an attempt for apex jump, and not just an attempt. It was successful, 4 more points, yes. Fred Finta still struggling at the front of the pack, now flying out of the pack. Someone's getting a penalty, and Lomme calls off the jam.
All right, on to the next jam. We have 2-9, Light Fury from Lomme.
And now it's 4-8, Morran, jamming for Gothenburg.
So both teams have one blocker in the box, so we go to this jam, 3 versus 3 blockers.
And the jam is on.
The starts in this game have been very energetic, very powerful. You can very clearly see that these teams are in the top 12 and top 13 spots in the rankings.
Totally. That's the lead for Gothenburg, and Morran, who's approaching the pack. Want to get some points. Gets pushed out.
And this is, believe I, the first lead of this game for Gothenburg.
Yes.
Yes.
Now both penalized blockers back on track. Someone's getting a high block. That's a blocker from Gothenburg. Let's see if they're gonna call it. Yeah.
Nice work from Gothenburg on the inside line. 4-8, Morran getting some points for the team.
So that's the first 4 points of the game for Gothenburg.
All right, for this next jam, we have from Lomme, 9-9 Pindeter on the jammer line.
And number 6, Chips, jamming for Gothenburg.
Okay, so this is a 4 versus 3 start for Lomme. And we see Lomme taking the lead, the jammer pushing Gothenburg's jammer out while on their way out of the pack.
That was a nice move.
Yes.
Now Chips getting out of the pack with a jammer or the helmet cover on their hand.
Okay, Lomme tried to squeeze in a few more points with some offensive help for the jammer. And this was a 4-point jam for Lomme against Gothenburg's 0.
Next up on jammer line, number 11, Fröken Frecken for Gothenburg.
And for Lomme, we have 1967 Petit Bourrin. Lomme with the 1 blocker in the box, so Gothenburg has a slight advantage for this jam.
That's a lead for Gothenburg, Fröken Frecken, who's also played in Team Sweden.
That was a big hit on the French jammer by Gothenburg. Very powerful walls on both sides.
Wow, that's very physical, huge hits.
Yes, I would say this is the type of physicality we can expect from this game. Both teams fighting for their spots.
Yes, at this level, this high-level roller derby.
Exactly.
Jamming for Gothenburg 1618, that's Fred Finta.
And for Lomme, we have 8-5, non, je rigole. So Lomme still has one blocker in the box with a slight disadvantage on this jam. And there goes Gothenburg's jammer in the front of the pack, while Non Je Rigole is still fighting. In the back of the pack, Gothenburg is doing a solid wall work, keeping the Lomme jammer.
Yeah, pushing the jammer out, recycling, getting some space for their own jammer. And there it is, the lead for Gothenburg.
With a nice finishing spin out of the pack. Excellent. Lovely to see.
And that's a star pass for Lomme. The new jammer is?
The new jammer for Lomme is 1312 Girafon, quickly making their way into the pack.
Fred Finta got the memo and calls off the jam to prevent Lomme making any points. That's 3 points for Gothenburg. And the total score is 19 for Lomme, 15 for Gothenburg. 22 minutes remaining of the first period.
Yes, this has been a quite even start for this game.
Yes, very exciting already. Jamming for Gothenburg 48, that's Morran.
And for Lomme, we have 2-9, Light Fury taking the lead for Lomme.
And if the first game was clean, this one's pretty penalty heavy. The penalty box door obviously has revolving doors. There's always someone going in and someone coming out.
Yes, definitely can affect the game quite a bit.
Yes.
When you don't have the blockers on the track doing the job, so.
Yeah, it's easier to win when you're on track. Now it's a power jam for Gothenburg, as Lomme's jammer is penalized and sitting in the box. Let's see if they can capitalize it.
Let's see how Lomme responds to the situation. Lomme also having a very powerful defense there.
Gothenburg doing a star pass, so the new jammer is 247 Belin.
Right, there we see nice defensive work from Lomme blocker 1, 2, 3.
And the jammer panny is on the floor. You can't score without it.
Lots of things happening on the track, Tom. We can hear the tumbling.
Again, a penalty for someone, and oh no, that's Gothenburg's jammer.
All right, and there goes Light Fury for Lomme, scoring 4 points, going on a second scoring round.
And there's so little time left on the jam clock that Gothenburg's jammer is gonna stay in the penalty box. Just as I said it, the jam ended.
So that was a 8-1 point jam. Lomme getting the 8 points, and by calling off the jam, freezing the Gothenburg jammer in the penalty box. So this will be a power jam start for Lomme, and Lomme has 9-9 Pim de Terre in the jammer line, while we call an official timeout.
We have such advanced technology here that we have the penalty board here. So we can say that 247, the jammer for Gothenburg, this is already their third penalty of this game, and this is we've only had a few jams so far. So this might be something that this game will be noted for.
Right. So what we're saying that the penalties might affect the outcome of the game if this continues, since 7 is the maximum for one skater to have penalties in a game.
Also, if you are blocker and you're penalized, you're not only out of the track, but you're also a free point sitting in the penalty box.
That's right. So we don't want to make it easy for the opposing team. All right, so for the audience in Ruskeasuo, a public service announcement that the raffle tickets are sold out for today. Eli Ruskeasuon yleisölle tiedoksi, että arpajaislipukkeita ei enää tälle päivälle ole saatavilla. Huomenna uusia. So the raffle tickets will be available tomorrow. All right, so the jam is back on. We have 99 Pimdeter from Lomme jamming in a power jam situation.
Lomme doing offense for their jammer, and they get the lead. Gothenburg jammer already standing in the penalty box. That means that they have less than 10 seconds or less left of their penalty. Now back in the game.
Lomme blockers are ready to take on Gothenburg's Belin, who is fighting in the back of the pack, while Pimdeter is still making their way out in the front of the pack. Both teams making a really nice defensive blocker work here.
One Gothenburg blocker sitting in the penalty box, so only 3 on track. Now also a Lomme blocker penalized.
So here we see a bit of a more static situation in the game compared to the very speedy moments in the first about 15 minutes of this game. So very defense heavy on this jam.
Oh, totally. Again, at the end of that jam, Gothenburg pivot was penalized, so 1 blocker per each team sitting in the penalty box. And it looks like Gothenburg's gonna take a timeout, which I think it's smart at this point.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes, as predicted in this situation where Lomme has been gaining quite a lot of points and scoring, the situation being 31 points to Lomme and 16 to Gothenburg in just the first 12 minutes of the game. It gives Lomme quite the mental advantage, I would say.
The pendulum swinging the wrong way from Gothenburg point of view. So they might want to break the cycle, maybe gather their thoughts and talk about strategy, how to calm down, maybe.
Yeah.
This kind of thing.
Yeah, so a good call from the bench to try to set the mood for this next jam by resetting what's going on. Okay, we're getting ready to start the next jam. And for Lomme, we have 1967 Petit Bourrin jamming.
And 1-1 Fröken Fräcken jamming for Gothenburg.
Okay, both teams have 1 blocker in the penalty box, so we're going in equal 3 versus 3. Both teams very heavy on the defense at the very start of the jam.
And that's a lead for Gothenburg and Fröken Fräcken. Now also Lomme's jammer, free, half a track behind.
Yes, not far from behind.
Easy points for Fröken Fräcken and then a quick call off.
A beautiful apex jump there. Always a crowd pleaser in these derby games.
Such an elegant skater. Jamming for Gothenburg, number 6, that's Chips.
And for Lomme, we have number 85, Non Je Rigole.
Gothenburg pivot standing in the penalty box, so 10 seconds or less.
Okay.
Wow, what an inside line work.
Nice
Spectacular.
hoppity on the tippy toes there on the inside track, while Lomme's jammer is out of the pack, now on their scoring round, and Gothenburg calls off the jam.
So, no. Is it 1 point? Can't see the fingers. No, it's 2 points.
Yes, 2 points. I concur.
Good job.
All right, so for this next jam, for Lomme, we have 2-9 Light Fury jamming.
And I think it's Fred Finta jamming for Gothenburg. Yes, that's correct.
A powerful start for Gothenburg, pushing all the way to the front of the pack, while Lomme's jammer is still fighting in the back of the track. Here we see the Lomme doing a nice recycle and catch in the back of the pack.
Yeah, that was a textbook triangle and pushing out the jammer and then recycling. So the lead goes to Lomme, but Fred Finta not far behind.
Now both jammers approaching the pack. Lomme with only 3 blockers, and they call off the jam.
And some points for Gothenburg, also 3 points, 3 pickpocketing points.
All right, so 15 minutes left in this first half of this game. The score is 32 to Lomme, 25 to Gothenburg. We have number 99 Bstrds from Lomme jamming, and we have an official timeout.
The last possible second, the official timeout.
Always, that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Also, a public service announcement. There's been a dog outside of the entrance of the hall for several hours now, unattended. If it's your dog, please do something about it. It's not okay to leave a dog out for that long.
All right, the skaters are ready to go for the next jam. And who do we have jamming for Gothenburg?
1-1, that's Frecken.
All right, very...
One hand out, that doesn't count. You don't have to recycle. Frecken knows that.
All right, excellent, wow.
Twirling through the pack.
Twirling. While Lomme jammer still fighting in the back of the pack, getting help from the blocker buddies, trying to clear the way for their jammer. Unsuccessful.
Tremendous resetting by Lomme blockers. Now they're defending by 4, Frecken. While number 3, that's Prinsen, giving a hand to get Frecken through. Now Gothenburg sending also another blocker to do offense, that's 24 stopless.
And here we see Lomme jammer, 99 Bstrds, getting a sneaky pass out of the pack, utilizing the moment nicely.
Frecken calling off the jam.
And so that's a 4 points for Gothenburg?
Yes. So now the point differential is only 3 points. So if you get a 4-0 jams enough in the game, then it's enough. You win if you have more points. That's basically it.
Thanks for summing this game up in such a nice way.
It's not that hard, really.
All right, so the team that gets the most points wins.
Yeah, surprisingly.
That's basically derby for you. Okay.
So it's a timeout for Lomme.
Yes, it's a very strategic call from Lomme to take a timeout now that Gothenburg has been gaining speedway here with the points. So this is what I would do, actually, if I was with
Yeah.
the team.
It's wise clock management.
Yes, definitely.
And also like psychological management of both teams, I would say.
Indeed. So, the officials of this tournament have not had an easy job, I would say. This has been a very workful morning already.
Yes, especially this second game. Although the penalties have dried out a bit.
Yes, the game has really calmed down, I would
Yes.
say, on both sides.
Now jamming for Gothenburg, that's number 6, Chips.
And for Lomme, we have 1967 Petit Bourrin.
Chips powering through.
And there goes Lomme with the lead. And the Gothenburg jammer being hit out by 221 L'Orage from Lomme.
Now also Chips out of the pack, but no, that was a penalty call. Or was it? No, it was not.
So Lomme with only 2 blockers on the track, while Lomme jammer gets a penalty and goes to the box. So this is an interesting situation for Gothenburg.
Yes, they have both power jam and only one opposing blocker on track, now 3.
All right, so Lomme is back with 3 jammers, 3 blockers. on
That
the
would be a
track.
game.
That would be interesting with 3 jammers.
Good
so
job,
3 blockers.
Gothenburg blockers doing offense there. And you know what? It's a lead change at this point.
Oh, we have a lead change. So Gothenburg is now in the lead for this game with 37 points on the scoreboard against Lomme's 32. But there goes Petit Bourrin for another scoring round for Lomme.
Yes, now both teams have all skaters on track.
Wow, easy, smooth jamming from
Yes.
Lomme's side, getting those points, just skating through the pack. Really nice job.
And as Lomme jammer was lead and was penalized, now the jam goes on for the full 2 minutes, which is up now.
Okay, we have another lead change.
Oh no.
While Lomme just gained 42 points from the previous jam against Gothenburg's 41, so the situation is now 42-41, so only 1 point difference.
It's kind of what we expected, but this is still giving me a heart attack.
Yes.
Jamming for Gothenburg, 48, that's Morran.
And we have number 85 Nange Rigole for Lomme.
Nice offense help from number 2, Sugar High, pushing the Lomme wall really up front, so now Morran can get through and get lead.
Okay, we have quite a few penalty calls already for this jam, so we are hemorrhaging blockers out of the track. So again, we are 3 versus 3 situation.
Both teams doing tremendous job defensing. The pack is standstill at turn 1.
I really have to admire the courage of the Lomme jammer swooping and charging into the walls, very heavy walls of Gothenburg.
Lomme doing a star pass, which causes Gothenburg to call off the jam. 1 blocker per team in the penalty box, although Gothenburg's blocker is already standing.
All right, so for Lomme we have number 29 Light Fury jamming.
And 1-1 Fröken Frecken again jamming for Gothenburg.
Okay, we have still 1 Lomme blocker in the penalty box.
Oh, very cool offense in the inside line by Sugar High. releasing Fröken Frecken, who's lead.
Right, Light Fury from Lomme is out of the pack.
Fröken Frecken gets all the points there is to grab and then calls off the jam.
Do we have another lead change?
I think we do.
Well, this is to be expected from this game. So another lead change. We now have Gothenburg in the lead with 49 points against Lomme's 42. And for Lomme, we have number 99, Bstrds, jamming.
And 1618 Fred Finta for Gothenburg, grabbing the lead very fast.
Yes, we have seen this fast inside line lead grabs from Gothenburg quite often. This seems to be a signature move of theirs.
Yeah,
Very impressive.
Lomme completing a star pass. Let's see how Gothenburg reacts. They're gonna run it long, apparently. Lomme blocker skating in the penalty box.
Nice move on the inside lane. We have...
I love the offense work these teams are doing. That was a complete sweep by Gothenburg from the inside, so that Fred Finta could just sail through and then call off the jam.
All right, so that was that 4 points for Lomme, and for Gothenburg, is that a 4-4 jam?
I think so.
Well, points for everybody.
Yes, you get a point. Jamming for Gothenburg, number 6, that's Chips.
And 1967 Petit Bourrin for Lomme. Both jammers still making their way out of the pack. Strong defense on both sides. Lomme has one blocker in the box, so Gothenburg has a slight advantage for this game, or this jam.
It's quite a wrestling match right now in the turn 1, resulting Lomme jammer getting the lead for their team. Chips not far behind.
Both jammers now making their way into the pack. Lomme trying to secure a few points they can grab before calling off the jam. And Lomme gets 2 points from this jam. Good job.
For their efforts.
Yes. So we are 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes left in this game, and the point difference is only 5 points?
Yeah, it's actually 6 minutes
6
left
minutes.
of the first period. Yeah, and 5 points. That's correct. Jamming for Gothenburg, Fröken Frecken.
And for Lomme, we have 8-5. Non, je rigole.
Oh no, that's a high block for Gothenburg jammer. So that's a power jam for Lomme. The lead is still open.
Lomme making good efforts to help their jammer out of the pack, and a nice, beautiful whip offense from the outside lane from Lomme, getting their jammer the lead status.
Wow, that's very clean pass. 4 points, call off, and up to the next power start. Fröken Frecken standing in the penalty box, so it's going to be a brief power start, but power start nevertheless.
Yes, and we have number 29, Light Fury from Lomme in the jammer line. Both teams have 4 blockers on the track. And Lomme gets the lead.
Fröken Frecken out of the box, in the pack, now sailing through like a pinball.
Barely staying on the track, the Lomme jammer made a very, very nice job.
And we've had another lead change.
Yeah. Oh, we have another lead change.
Yet again.
Yet again, this is, I believe, the theme for this game will be a lead change.
Yes. So totally 3 lead changes in that one jam.
Very exciting. Okay, we have an official review being called.
I'm gonna sneak out if I can see what that's about.
Yes. All right, so while Kata gets the information out, I will give a shout out to our wonderful officials who are working here in this tournament. So we have our head NSO, Gaston, and other NSOs. We have Andreas, Nöki, Sturmakten, Pandawan, Kriisi, Pynicillin, Dandelion, Bureaucrat, Raitsu, Ref in Peace, Supikettu, Astila Vista, Crash Blossom, Piece of Kake, Countdown, George, Demon Core, Tirpis, and Awkward Moment and Agricola. And soon we will give a shout out to one of the NSOs during the halftime. We have a milestone for one of them. And for the game tournament oversight, we have Kalle. Tournament head referee is Denial. In skating officials, we have Pajari, Grave Miskate, Martin McFly, Iska, Primavera, Von Perkele, Katsesöse, Dr. Watts, Green Thunder, Pakis Hair, Refraction, Jonas, Lizzie Slaughter, and Pyrrh. Give a shout out to the officials, thank you. The officials doing an amazing job making sure we have a tournament here. And as I was saying a bit earlier, we don't have any raffle tickets for this day, but you can try your luck again tomorrow. All right, soon we will find out what the official review was about, and I will let Kata tell you.
The black team was requesting a penalty for a green jammer for illegal contact, blocking while out of bounds.
All right, and how did it result?
I'm looking at the penalty box and I'm thinking it didn't go through.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so we are back with the Lomme Jammer 8-5, Non je rigole.
And 1618, Fred Finta jamming for Gothenburg. Getting a back block penalty. So that's a power jam for Lomme.
Yes, Non je rigole, they're easily clearing their way out of the pack.
Wow.
And an
Was that an
effortless apex jump there executed. Always lovely to see. Yes.
Another one, apex
There
jump
goes,
on the straightaway.
There goes Non je rigole, just like, bye. Very beautiful, beautiful work from both teams. Gothenburg heavy on the defense, while Lomme is focusing on a powerful offense on their side.
Now also Gothenburg's jammer back in the game, back in the pack, fighting the Lomme triangle.
So both jammers now back on the track. Lomme trying to go for another scoring round, while Gothenburg still on initial, so they still have a nice chance to grab some points.
So that's it, says Lomme jammer, calls off the jam, scores 3 more points, so that was the 4th scoring pass for them. 15
points for
yes. So we have a palindrome, 75 for Lomme, 57 for Gothenburg. 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining of the first period.
Okay, for this next jam, let's see who we have. We have 1967 Petit Bourrin jamming for Lomme and getting the lead.
Jamming for Gothenburg, that's 48. Morran gets recycled. Now tries again. Only 2 Lomme blockers ahead of them.
Yes, Lomme doing a wonderful job there, blocking with only two blockers, while Petit Bourrin is making their way out of the pack on the inside line against Gothenburg. Now Lomme is again with 3 blockers.
Now Morran also out of the pack, approaching the pack again. Let's see if they're gonna, at the last possible second, they call it off to release their own blocker from the penalty box. So that was very wise.
Yes. Indeed. So just under 1 minute left in the first period of this game. And the score difference is Lomme with 79 points against Gothenburg 57 points.
So that's only 22 points separating these two teams. Jamming for Gothenburg, 1-1 Frecken.
And who do we have for Lomme? There was quite a tumble. We have 9-9 Bstrds jamming for Lomme, fighting in the front of the pack with some help.
Frecken got hit out and then recycled all the way back to the jammer line, then bursting through the pack. That was the attempt, but got caught behind Lomme's triangle.
Okay, there goes Bstrds having the lead jammer status for Lomme. Taking it easy. Last few minutes of this jam.
Frecken recycled once again. That's soul drenching.
There goes the Lomme jammer still fighting in the front of the pack. Gothenburg's not making it easy.
No, the pack is at standstill. 2 triangles fiercely defending.
And that's another 4 points for Lomme.
Now Gothenburg doing a star pass. So the new jammer is the former pivot number 3, that's Prinsen. This is not their first time jamming, if I recall right.
Well, it sure doesn't look like the first time. It's very professional. All right. So we go into the intermission, so halftime of this game, with 86 points to Lomme against Gothenburg's 57 points.
That's right, 29 points separating these two teams, so it's going to be exciting second half.
Yes, indeed, so stay tuned. For this halftime, we have a public service announcement for our crew head NSO, Awkward Moment, who is officiating their 100th game. So let's give a shout out to Awkward Moment.
Woo! What a milestone.
All right, grab some coffee, grab something to eat, and be back in about 14 minutes.
To
And we are back for the second game of this tournament weekend, Hard Block Life. Playing in black, it's Lomme Bad Bunnies, and playing in green, Gothenburg Roller Derby.
Yes, so just 1 minute and 30 seconds to go till the second period of this exciting game that's been going on here. We have witnessed some very exciting moments between these teams who are both fighting for their spot on the Euro Champs top 12.
Yeah, several lead changes. Quite a penalty-heavy first period. 15 penalties for Lomme, 17 penalties for Gothenburg. The penalties are quite equal per team, but in Gothenburg they are kind of like piled up for a few skaters. So there's one skater with 5 penalties, that's 2 for 7, Belin, and one skater with 4 penalties. And also one skater with 4 penalties in Lomme. So this is something that they might want to look out.
Yes, definitely, as the penalties might predict how this game will end. So, in the second half, I believe we can still look forward to some very exciting moments, lead changes, as we have witnessed in this first half. And when is the date when these teams know if they will be chosen for the top 12?
The rankings from April the 1st are the ones that are good for Euro Derby champs.
All right. And we are on with the first jam. From Lomme, we have number 29, Light Fury, jamming.
And for Gothenburg, number 11, Fröken Frecken. The penalty box is empty.
Let's keep it that way, with the 4 and 4 blockers from both teams on the track. Here we go. There goes Gothenburg's jammer 1-1 with a quick lead, while Lomme jammer 2-9 Light Fury is still working their way out of the pack.
Several penalty whistles, but no one's going to the box, so, well, that's one Lomme blocker now skating to the penalty box. Now Fröken Frecken back in the pack, scoring points. Lomme's jammer fighting in the front pack against Gothenburg's triangle.
Big hit outs from Lomme side. There seems to be, I don't know, something on the track that makes these skaters tumble in ways that I wouldn't maybe expect.
I hear it's very sticky, so it's always a factor.
Yes.
Which wheels should you take or use? Now Fröken Frecken free, eager to get some more points. That was the first 4 of this jam.
All right, so 4 blockers on both teams back on the track. The Lomme jammer still fighting their way in the back of the pack, while Lomme is defending against Gothenburg in the front of the pack still.
Fröken Frecken getting recycled back to the turn 2, even further.
Okay, we see the jammers being hit out from the here and there, so both teams doing a really heavy defensive work right now. Gothenburg has 1 blocker in the box, which gives Lomme a slight advantage for this jam.
That's the end of that gruesome jam. That was the whole 2 minutes. And
yes, very physical.
Yes, only 8 points for Gothenburg, 0 for Lomme. The total is 86 for Lomme, 65 for Gothenburg, 27, just under 28 minutes remaining of this game.
Okay, so for this next jam, we have number 8-5, Nange Rigole for Lomme.
And 1-6-1-8 Fred Finta jamming for Gothenburg.
Both teams fighting really hard in the tight formation here, not making it easy for either of the jammers to get out. So the jammers really have to find the empty spots where to push through to get out of the pack. And there is the lead for Lomme.
Extremely physical game. Gothenburg blocker skating towards the box. Oh wow. Lomme jammer doesn't touch anyone. Skates
very
through.
Impressive. Untouched.
Yes.
Skating through the pack. But Gothenburg is ready to receive Lomme jammer and making a really hard, powerful wall there. But Nange-Rigol still makes their way out of the pack.
Fred Finta gets recycled. Now Lomme's triangle in the back receiving them.
Nice offensive work on the inside line from Lomme.
Wow.
Getting
big jam
the
for
jammer
Lomme.
through. Okay, so the pack is in standstill. Everybody was ready for what's about to come next. Lomme still trying to make some points. This is the momentum they should absolutely use, getting so much leeway here with the points and
totally.
scoring. Yes.
It's soul crushing for a jammer to have to stay behind a triangle for that long. And now Gothenburg jammer receiving a penalty.
Nice hit out there on the inside line from Gothenburg, pushing the Lomme jammer out and calling off the jam.
So important jam for Lomme, 16 points totally scored, and resulting Gothenburg jammer to go to the box. So Lomme starts with power jam, the next jam.
All right, we have an official timeout. And we have hit the centennial mark with the points. So 102 points for Lomme and 65 for Gothenburg. And we have 1967 Petit Bourrin jamming for Lomme.
And Gothenburg jammer Fred Finta starting from the box.
We have a power jam situation, and the lead goes to Lomme. Nice offense from the outside. And Lomme going for the first scoring round. Petit Bourrin getting 4 points for their team.
Lomme blockers doing tremendous job doing offense for their own jammer.
Okay, so Gothenburg jammer is out of the box while Lomme is still scoring points. And absolutely, they should keep running this now, while Gothenburg jammer is still trying to make their way out of the pack.
Yeah, that's the second jam in a row for Fred Finta, so no wonder if it feels a bit tired after this.
That's very true. So both teams now on strong defensive mode. We can see a classic derby formation with the two triangles and jammers. This is what we also want to see. This is a very clear formation for the audience also to follow.
Fred Finta finally out of the pack. Lomme calls off the jam before Gothenburg can score.
Okay.
Another big jam for Lomme, 12 points, leaving Gothenburg to 0. Now, jamming for Gothenburg, number 11, Fröken Frecken.
Okay, and for Lomme, we have number 9, Pim de Terre. Penalty box is empty. Both teams have 4 blockers on the track, and there's a big tumble. Three skaters falling at the same time.
Fröken Frecken grabbing the lead for Gothenburg. Let's see if they can capitalize it.
Okay, so Gothenburg has the lead for this jam.
And that's
it's a situation that seems to speed up the puck quite a bit.
Yes, that's a star pass for Lomme. So Gothenburg and Fröken decide to call off the jam after 4 scored points.
So 22 minutes left in this game. Score is 114 for Lomme and 69 for Gothenburg. And we go into this jam with the Lomme jammer number 29 Light Fury.
And jamming for Gothenburg, 48 Morran.
And a quick push from the Gothenburg jammer to the front of the pack, facing the Lomme, a very strong triangle. But Lomme gets the lead. Lead goes to Light Fury, making their way quickly back to the pack.
Lomme doing some very efficient offense, breaking up Gothenburg's walls. Now that Gothenburg is left alone, they can defend pretty solidly with their triangle.
Yeah, Lomme actually has their pivot in the box, so can't send anyone to do offense.
Yes. Morran out of the pack.
Yes, nice offense from Lomme there, clearing the way for Light Fury.
That was exciting.
All right.
Is the call-off gonna come? When?
Okay, so that was the big jam for Lomme again. So they are really bringing the heat here in the cold Helsinki on this Saturday. Very exciting to see. So number 8-5 Non Je Rigole is jamming for Lomme.
And number 6 Chips jamming for Gothenburg. I wonder if it's the British kind or the American kind of chips. And the lead goes to Chips and Gothenburg.
Lomme still trying to get their jammer out of the pack, while Gothenburg steals another scoring round and gets 4 points.
Easy 4 points. Now coming in for more. Lomme's triangle is ready.
Nice hit out there from 4-3-4. Kraken from Lomme, getting the Gothenburg jammer out and calling off the jam.
So that's 7 points for Gothenburg from that jam. And next up, jamming for Gothenburg, 1-1 Fröken.
And 1967 Petit Bourrin for Lomme. We're on. We can hear a false start being called for one of the players, which means that this player has to yield back and re-enter to the track.
Yes, Fröken fighting their way through the pack and grabbing lead for Gothenburg. Meanwhile, Lomme's jammer also out of the pack, eligible to score. Fröken calls off the jam. One Gothenburg blocker sitting in the penalty box.
For this next jam, Lomme is fielding number 99, Bstrds, as their jammer.
And jamming for Gothenburg, first time in this game, number 3, Prinsen.
So Gothenburg has one blocker in the box, and Lomme is in full force with 4 blockers. Both jammers pushing hard, trying to make their way out of the pack. But
Wow.
There goes Bstrds with the lead for Lomme.
Once again, very cool offense by Lomme's pivot. Penalty whistle. That's the mentioned Lomme pivot skating to the penalty box. Prinsen still stuck behind the triangle of Lomme. Now getting some offensive help from 101. That's world's okayest skater, the team captain. Now the inside opens up and Prinsen gets through.
Lomme still trying to make their way out of the pack. Bstrds getting some nice help from Lomme blocker bodies, getting her way out of the pack.
Lomme's running it long. Now also Prinsen getting points.
And Lomme calls off the jam. Okay, we have 5 points for Lomme on this game, and is it 4?
Yeah, looks like 4 points.
4 points for Gothenburg on this last jam. For the next one, we have
timeout for green team. That is Gothenburg. That's pretty smart. Now the point differential is 40 points. 16 and a half minutes remaining this game, so they might wanna they want to get in a few big jams.
Yes,
that would
definitely
change it all.
This would probably change the game quite a bit.
Yes, it's still anyone's game. 40 points is nothing, as we've learned.
Yes, that's very true in Derby especially. So this game has been somewhat expected for the outcome this far.
Yes.
The Bstrds prediction for this game, as we said in the beginning, was 152 for Lomme and 142 for Gothenburg.
That's very close.
That's very close.
And they're currently sitting at ranking spots Lomme 12, Gothenburg 13. So they're right there.
Yes,
around the break.
Neck.
Yes.
Yes, so for Lomme we have 29, Light Fury jamming.
And Fred Finta jamming for Gothenburg, grabbing lead as soon as you can say cat.
So Gothenburg has the lead. Let's see, there's things happening with the blockers. I would
things happening
to say the least.
Fred Finta grabs 2 points and calls off the jam. Lomme pivot sitting in the penalty box. And next up jamming for Gothenburg, that's 1-1 Fröken.
Yes, and for Lomme we have number 85, Nange Rigole. So Lomme pivot in the box, Lomme defending with the 3 blockers. A nice hit out there.
Gothenburg sending 1 offensive player. It's number 2, Sugar High. Oh no, that's a jammer penalty for Fröken. So that's a power jam for Lomme. Now also jammer penalty for Lomme. Jammer. So this jam goes on for the full 2 minutes.
Yes. Now we have a jammer switcheroo in the penalty box, so we can't play this game without jammers, so we always need 1 jammer on the track.
Yeah, you gotta have 1.
Scoring points. But now the Lomme jammer is making their way back on the track.
Both jammers still on initial pass, so no one's scoring yet. Oh, huge hits.
Yes, big hit out by Lomme's 1-6 Brutus, hitting the Gothenburg jammer out. So as we've said, this game seems to be quite physical.
Yes. Tiring to watch even.
Yes. Yes, definitely. I'm out of breath just looking this.
Finally, Fröken Frecken out of the pack, now eligible to score. Still some 20 seconds left in the jam clock. So there's still time to score points. Wow.
There was a collision, to say the least.
Yeah, huge hit.
Yeah, you have to be careful where you go on this track.
Yes. So that was a star pass for Lomme, and Gothenburg blocker just stopping the new jammer.
Yes. Okay, so after this jam, Gothenburg has narrowed down the score difference a bit. So we are now with Gothenburg with 89 points against Lomme's 123 points. So we are getting closer.
Yeah, just over 13 minutes remaining this game. So we shall see if that's enough or is it too little.
Yes. So for Lomme, we have 1967 Petit Bourrin jamming.
And 48 Morran jamming for Gothenburg. Lomme's jammer also doing some defense there.
Yes, that's a tactic that's called for in certain situations,
yes.
At least in these very tight pack formations where none of the jammers can find a way to go out.
Yes.
So what are you going to do?
Now Lomme's jammer fighting Gothenburg's 3-wall in the front of the pack, while Morran fighting the 3-wall triangle, Lomme's triangle, in the back of the pack.
Gothenburg really not making it easy for Lomme jammer to get out, but eventually Lomme gets out.
And now Morran grabs the lead and calls it off immediately before Lomme jammer can get any points. Now jamming for Gothenburg, number 6, that's Chips.
And for Lomme, we have a 9-9 Pim de Terre. So the penalty box is empty now. We have all the blockers on the track.
Awfully lot of false starts in this game. That's like thing in the past. Okay, someone's penalized, but not the jammer. Gothenburg's jammer thought that they received a penalty and now sails through the pack, getting lead for Gothenburg. Lomme's jammer half a track behind. So I suspect this is going to be a short jam. There comes the call-off. Let's see how many points did Chips manage to grab. Is that 1 point? 2 points. Yes, that's 2 points.
All right, so we have number 29, Light Fury, for jamming for Lomme.
And Fröken Frecken, number 11, jamming for Gothenburg.
The Lomme pivots in the penalty box. So Lomme is with 3 blockers on the track. Another penalty call here, so the situation evens out a bit for Lomme.
People just falling on top of each other. Looks very physical. I bet they're getting tired already. And that's a lead for Gothenburg and Fröken Frecken.
Yes, nice steal on the inside.
Wow.
Inside lane and just skating through. That seems to work for Gothenburg pretty well. Very sneaky leads.
Other skaters forming a dog pile. Fröken Frecken sailing through. Now playing it safe, recycling.
That was a nice save from 1-6 Brutus from Lomme. Not getting Gothenburg the chance to do that beautiful apex jump.
Yes. Once again, Lomme jammer pushed out, recycled. 1 Gothenburg blocker sent to the penalty box. Wow, that was close, but no luck. Gothenburg blockers pushing the jammer out, and now unfortunate cutting penalty. So that's a power jam for Gothenburg. Wow, nice twirling.
Yes, a signature move.
Yes.
Seems to be very beautiful to watch talented skaters on the track.
Totally. Fröken Fröken calls it off, freezing the Lomme jammer in the penalty box so they can get, Gothenburg can get the powered start. Next up jamming for Gothenburg, that's Fred Finta, 1618. Looks like Lomme is gonna take a timeout. There it is. No, that's official review.
All right, so we have an official review being called. And the penalty situation for at this time seems to be looking, well, not so good. We have quite a many penalties on both sides, so this can affect also the outcome of the game. Some of the skaters are in the risk of actually fouling out for this game, so let's see how this plays out. So the score difference for at this time is 123 for Lomme and 102 for Gothenburg. We have 8 minutes and 20 seconds right about left in this game. And now we have information about the official review.
Yes, the black team is requesting skating out of bounds penalty for green jammer at the end of the previous jam.
Yes, so this game has been quite physical, what we have seen so far, and this is not the only game for neither of the teams today, so both of these teams will play again today. Lomme will play against Helsinki Allstars at 3:30, so in just a few hours, and also Gothenburg will play the last game of this day against Stockholm Allstars at 6 o'clock.
Yes, luckily also their opponents have already played one game before the next game today. So it's kind of a fair play then.
Yeah, I would say. But sometimes I think some skaters prefer to have games back to back. That depends.
Yeah, it all comes down to the recovery, how well you can manage that.
Exactly.
And emptying your head, so to speak, between the games.
Right, we are back. And who do we have jamming for Gothenburg? This is a power jam for Gothenburg.
1618, Fred Finta, power jam start, so clearly the official review didn't go through. One Gothenburg blocker skating towards the box. Fred Finta fighting the Lomme defense, which is very tough. They're defending by 4, obviously. Now also Lomme's jammer back in the game.
All right, so Light Fury number 29 is back as the Lomme jammer and getting the lead jammer status.
Yeah, that's always sweet to grab the lead when you're out of the box. Nice apex hop. Easy points for Lomme, while Fred Finta still fighting in the back of the pack.
Yes, and there goes Light Fury just crashing through the Gothenburg walls, grabbing another 4 points for Lomme.
Lomme is very on top of the situation. They're doing great defense and also killer offense when needed.
Yes, Gothenburg is forced to stretch out the pack a bit so they can keep blocking. But there comes Light Fury again for another scoring round.
Wow, that's already fourth scoring run for Lomme. So that's 16 points in total from the previous jam, which brings Lomme to 139 points.
Yes.
Against Gothenburg's 102 points. That's just over 6 minutes remaining this game.
All right, we have another official review being called. And while Kata goes and finds out what's going on, I will give a shout out to our wonderful sponsors again. So for this tournament, we have gathered some amazing sponsors who have brought some food and drinks for our volunteers and also provided some raffle prizes for our raffle. You can participate in the raffle again tomorrow. So we have Rolling Records, Stone Bake Knits, Yeho Skateboards, Studio Q, Tattoo Artist, Cool Head Tap Room, Jakes Basement, Tired Uncle Tap Room, Kato Secondhand Shop, Soft Care, Pinky Poplari Hairdressing Salon, Riviera Cinemas, Legacy Tattoo, Janne Vartio, Ice Power and Physio Line, Puhti Lab, Float, Floating Center, Free Spirits, non-alcoholic drinks, Jussi Kokkarinen, Tattoo Artist, Outi Viilman, Tomi Kuusisto, Tuppu Ritola from Tatuata, Emma So from Tatuata, Raatamo CrossFit, Laguni Water Sports Center, and TC Inc. Tattoo and Piercing. So thank you to our wonderful sponsors.
And so about the official review, the green team is requesting a high block penalty for Black Jammer from the previous jam. And as it seems, the official review didn't go through. So both jammers are on the track. Jamming for Gothenburg, number 11, that's Fröken Frecken.
And for Lomme, we have number 85, Non Je Rigole. And one, the Lomme pivot in the penalty box. So Lomme with the 3 blockers going into this jam. And the pack is quite stretched here. Gothenburg had to release some of the blockers to maintain the pack.
Very stretched out pack. That's a lead jammer status for Fröken Frecken and Gothenburg. That's an apex jump and a call off. Who called it off?
There seems to be some confusion on the track.
There are 2 blockers in the penalty box. And that's an official timeout.
Official timeout.
To clear out the situation.
Okay, how are we looking at the penalty situation here? We have still we have 1 blocker from each team in the penalty box.
And there are currently 2 Gothenburg blockers sitting on 6 penalties and 1 Lomme blocker sitting on 6 penalties.
All right, so for Lomme, we have number 1967, Petit Bourrin, jamming, getting some big offensive help from 221 L'Orage.
Jamming for Gothenburg, that's Morran. Getting offensive help from 83, that's Kafka. And that's the lead for Morran and Gothenburg, but Lomme jammer not far behind.
Yes, there was a beautiful offense moment from Lomme also, and nice hit out from Lomme's 221 L'Orage, hitting the Gothenburg jammer out at the last second, forcing them to call off the jam.
Yeah, 1 point for their efforts for Gothenburg. Next up, jamming number 6, Chips for Gothenburg.
And number 99, Pim de Terre from Lomme.
And that's lead for Gothenburg and Chips. Meanwhile, one Lomme blocker, that's Lomme's pivot, receiving a penalty, skating to the penalty box. So for a brief moment, or 30 seconds to be exact, Gothenburg has more blockers on track. Nice job. Chips grabbing 4 points.
Almost the Gothenburg jammer got out, but is pushed out at the last second before getting
Chips
through.
Tries out.
Chips tries, but it's not allowed. It's not allowed by Lomme.
Lomme
But
says no.
good effort. So we still have just a bit over 3 minutes left in this game. We can really see how the game is heating up for these last chances to make a difference in the points.
Chips calls it off. Clean. After grabbing 7 more points for the team. So that's Lomme 139, Gothenburg 114. Just under 3 minutes to go. Will that be enough?
We will find out. So for Lomme, we have number 29, Light Fury, as a jammer.
And Gothenburg 1-1, Fröken Frecken. And there it is, lead for Gothenburg.
A quick one.
And Lomme's jammer has helmet cover in their hand.
That was a massive hit out from Gothenburg.
Yeah, everyone's just flying out.
Yes.
The blockers are meaning it now. That's the first scoring pass, or was it even second?
Yes, beautiful work on the inside lane. The inside has really been working out for these both of these teams in this game, I have to say.
Now Lomme jammer out of the pack, ready to score points. Let's see if Gothenburg's gonna call it. They're gonna call it. Wow. Incredibly exciting. That's 7 more points for Gothenburg, which brings them to 121. So it's only 18 points dividing these two teams. Minute and a half to go.
To say the least, this is a very exciting game, and we're about to witness some more exciting moments, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still a chance to change the outcome of this game in the next 1.5 minutes.
Yes, it's not going to be easy, but it's possible. Next up, jamming for Gothenburg 1618 Fred Finta.
And for Lomme, we have number 85 Nange Rigole. One Gothenburg blocker in the box. And there goes the Lomme jammer, 8-5, Nange Rigole, with the beautiful offense help from 1-6 Brutus.
We thought it was the lead for Lomme, but it was a penalty. It was multiplayer block for Lomme's jammer. So now it's power jam for Gothenburg, who's made star pass. The new jammer is number 3, that's Prinsen, fighting through the front of the pack. Almost through, then pushed out, recycled. Oh no. Now Lomme jammer, already back on track.
Yes, getting quickly back to the pack.
Gothenburg blockers were ready, catching them.
They were indeed. Nobody is making this end of the game very easy.
No. And now the period clock
has run. Yes.
Yeah. So we are on the jam clock. There is no lead, so no one can call off the jam except the officials.
So now the best strategy would be just to keep calm and not to do anything very drastic. Maybe save a bit of energy for the next game.
No one's giving up an inch. Everyone's meaning business.
Yes.
Now
it's
Princeton
business all the way.
Out of the pack as the game ends. That's it. What a last jam.
This was intense.
2 minutes, pure fun.
Yes, that's roller derby for us. All right. So that was an exciting game, and
that's the rolling whistle. So that score
is the final score. So the final score of the game between Lomme Bad Bunnies and Gothenburg Roller Derby Allstars is 139 points to Lomme and 121 for Gothenburg.
Yes.
All right. So this game actually beat the predictor in the points. But the Wuftada prediction anticipated that Lomme will be the winner. So
yeah, but only by 10 points. And now they've won by 18 points.
Yes.
So that's somewhat more, not too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weekend is just beginning. So
that's right. So this was the second game of Saturday, and next up we have at 3:30 p.m. Helsinki Allstars against Lomme Bad Bunnies. So another exciting game to look forward to.
Yes. See you then.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
See you.